Dear students, today we are going to learn a new chapter called Death of the Partner. One of the most easiest chapter, a chapter which you can complete in no seconds, and you can get 4 or 6 marks for this. Now, what is the logic behind this chapter? You just have to create one capital account of the deceased partner. That means the partner who died. You very well know what comes in your capital account, isn't it? So let's look into the PPT slide, and that slide will help you to understand the format. There is nothing new as long as you remember your capital account. There are a few items which you have to take care of, and that we will discuss in the PPT. Let's look into the PPT slide in front of you. This is the deceased partner's capital account. If you let's start from the credit side. The credit side, the first item is balance brought down from the balance sheet. So let's say that Mr. X has died. So whatever is there in his capital in the balance sheet, you should be putting it in the credit side. And then if he is supposed to get IOC salaries commission, put it in the credit side. If at all they are giving you the revaluation information, the profit, you put it in the credit side again. These are the reserves from the balance sheet. The general reserve, the WCR, IFR, you should give the deceased partner his share from all the reserves, because reserves are nothing but the profits, right? And then comes the goodwill part. Just like retirement, even in this chapter, the deceased partner will get his share of goodwill. That's nothing but the efforts he had put in the business, which will be compensated because he has left the business. And the entry is exactly the same as we did in retirement. The journal entry would be existing partner debit to deceased partner. So you're crediting the deceased partner and you're posting it over here. These two part I will be explaining later. Let us at least understand the posting part, the easy part, okay? Reserves from the balance sheet, that is advertisement expense and profit and loss. This is the items which you usually see in the asset side. In all the chapters we are doing this. All right. So I hope by now you're clear about this. Goodwill from the balance sheet. Again, one more item which we post it in the debit side, only the share of the partner. We have done this in change in profit, admission as well as retirement. This goodwill has got nothing to do with the adjusted goodwill. This is your old goodwill which you write off by debiting the partner. Drawings, IOD is your interest on drawing. Once you complete this account, you have to see which side is bigger. Usually the credit side is bigger, and you minus the debit side to find the balance. Now the balance would be given to executor's account. Executor is basically a nominee of the deceased partner. In retirement, what you did? You posted as retiring partner's loan account, or if he's been paid, you will write to cash, or if he's been paid by bills payable, you write to bills payable. But in this chapter, the balancing figure would be written as executor's account. Now let's look into this part, the partner's loan. In a business, a partner can give loan or he can even take loan. Now what happens in deceased partner case? In the case a partner has given loan, it would be there in the liability side, and now that partner died. So that loan you should transfer it in the partner's capital. So if it is in liability, you are supposed to give a credit effect. So this is the partner's loan in the credit side. Similar way, if a partner has taken loan, that means you will find the partner's name which side? Asset side. So anything in the asset side should be given debit effect. So I posted it in partner's loan. So this is something different which you guys have not done in the earlier chapter. Now what is this profit and loss suspense account? Now when a partner die, you don't know when exactly he's dying, right? It could be any part of the year. So let's assume that you closed your accounts end of March as usual. After 3 months, end of June, the partner died. Now for 3 months, the business was going on. For the 3 months, you have to calculate the profit and give it to the deceased partner. Now the calculation of the profit would be shown to you in the next slide. Just for your understanding, the profit is based on certain assumption. Okay, that is why the word suspense has come. It is not the right or actual profit. Okay, otherwise we would have written profit and loss account. But since it is based on certain assumption, you use the word profit and loss suspense account. You should use the right terms. Now, even at times they use the word old partners capital. It's a very rare case. I have not seen any sum as such, but for your understanding, in case after death of the partner, there is a change in profit sharing. In such case, the profit will be given to deceased partner, but in which ratio? Partners, it should be given in sacrificing ratio by the old partner. I hope this slide is clear and this format is very much clear to all of you, each and every point. All right. And this is the remember part, which is again based on the points which students forget. All right. You will not find this in the textbook. Let's read the first one. Entire reserves and goodwill, balance sheet as well as adjustment to be given as per the profit sharing ratio. So that's what we learned here. No? The reserves over here, the goodwill over here, the reserves should be distributed as per the profit sharing ratio. It should not be time based, because this goodwill and reserves are your past profits. The students, what mistakes they do? They calculate the goodwill, they calculate the share as well, and give based on the time basis. If that person has died after 3 months, they give the goodwill for 3 months, which is absolutely wrong. This goodwill, this resource, everything is based on the previous, not 1 year, maybe it would be based on previous 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? So it has to be given based on the share, not based on time. Transfer deceased partner's loan to his capital, we already discussed this point. It's written in red color because it's something new for in this particular ledger. Profit till date to be calculated and transferred to profit and loss suspense account, even that we discussed. And what is the journal entry? Profit and loss suspense account to retiring partners account. This year, that is 2020 and 2021, CBSE has removed the capital account as well as one more account, that is executors account. So ideally there is nothing left in this chapter as such to discuss. So what is the reason why I am teaching you this? Because there is a high chance that they will ask journal entries. So how do you pass the journal entries if you don't know the ledger? Now since the ledger is there in front of you, anything they ask, you can give an answer. Deceased partners capital to drawings, or deceased partners capital debit to IOD, or to partners loan. So if this image is in your mind, you can draft any journal entries by yourself. All right. So let's move on to the next slide. The next slide is another important aspect of this chapter. Over here, we are going to learn how do we calculate the profit. Now I have given a date here. Mr. X dies on 1st of July. Should be very, very careful with this date. So if he's dying on 1st of July, how many months he was there in the business? April, May, June. So we understand he was there only for 3 months and his share is 1/2. Now how do we do the sum? Let's say this now the calculation can happen in two different methods. One method is called time basis and second method is called turnover basis, which turnover means sales. So now time basis, they will give you certain information. The profit for last year is 12,000. So now how do you calculate the profit? If last year the profit was 12,000, can we understand per month what is the profit we earned last year? I divide it by 12. I understand the profit is just 1,000. Now this guy died on 1st of July. So how do I calculate or assume the profit for that 3 months? So I will multiply into 3 by 12. So 1000 into 3, you can either do this way or you use this formula, whatever you are comfortable with. So the profit is 3000. Now you will not give the entire profit to this person. Again, that is a common mistake. Students find out that 3000 figure and give it to X. That 3000 is the profit of the business, right? X will get only his share, that is 1 by 2. So you should be ideally doing this thing. So time basis is way too simple. They will give you the last year or maybe average of 5 years profit. You have to understand when did this partner died, and based on that you find out the profit. Let's look into the sales basis now. The information given to us is sales of last year was 50,000 and the profit what we made is 5,000. And this year till his death we made a sale of 32,000. Now there are two ways of doing this. One of the simplest ways, understand what is the percentage of profit. If the sale is 50,000, if I get a 10% profit, that's how I make 5,000. So if I am doing a sale of 32,000, it's an obvious thing that 10% of this figure, that is 3,200, would be my profit. Now you might have a doubt that, sir, how can such simple calculation have come all the time in the board? Is there any other way? Yes, there is. And the other way is your cross multiplication. So what I will do, 32,000 into 5,000 divided by 50,000. So I have shown both the methods. All right. The cross multiplication can be used either here as well as here also. All right. So you get the figure. Again, I would like to discuss one small mistake which students do. They mix up both the methods. This is sales method, you understand now. 3,200 is the profit. So what will his share would be? 3,200 into half, that is 1,600 in this example. Now students find out 3,200 into half they do, and again they do 3 by 12. All right. So that is why I want to tell you again, time basis is different, sales basis is different. When it is time basis, yes, you will do 3 by 12. But when it is sales basis, you should not do that. You should simply find the profit and give the partner his share. Now the next question students always have is, sir, how do we understand which is the method and when do we use which method? The answer is in a simple word. Whenever in the sum you see the word sales, it is your sales method. And if the word sale is not there, it is your time method. Let's look into the next remember part over here. Only in case there is a change in profit sharing after death, profit to be paid to deceased partner would be by the sacrificing partner, or else you credit the P&L suspense account. This is something which we learned over here. In the first slide, I told you same thing I have repeated. This usually comes as a theory part. That is why I have repeated two places. The next one is, remember IOC, IOD, salary and profit on time basis should be based on the time. Now, if a partner is having a share or a capital of 50,000 and they are saying the IOC to be given is 10% per annum. Okay. So 50 into 10%, that is 5,000. Students simply put 5,000 in the credit side, but they forget that the person was not there for 1 year. He died after 3 months, right? So how can you give him the entire 1 year's IOC? All right. So these are the aspects: IOC, IOD, salary, as well as profit on time basis, which should be purely based on the time. So if you are doing the IOC part, don't forget to do this 3 by 12. You have to practice this chapter very well, because these are the silly mistakes which students do. This is one of the easiest chapter, but I have not seen students getting full in this chapter. The reason is because the chapter is easy, we practice less, we take this chapter for granted, because you can understand this chapter in no seconds. But how do you get full? You have to be extremely careful. The last line is easy way to understand the method of profit calculation. If the word sale is given, it becomes sale basis, or else it is time basis. The next slide is for executor account for this particular year, that is 2020 and 2021. This part has been excluded. Now this is the test for the chapter death of partner. I would like you all to attempt this test once, especially the fifth question, because I have a strong feeling that this question would definitely come in the board exam, as they have excluded the capital and executor account. So fifth one, fourth one, and seventh one, I would like, and as well as first and second, I would like all of it except for the sixth one, which is executor's account. You can attempt, make a PDF and send it to me by email. I will definitely correct it and send it across back to you with my comments. Let us look into two examples which will help you understand both the methods, that is the calculation of profit in time basis and sales basis. Now we are doing sum numbers 10 from the textbook. I hope the left hand side question is very much clear. So what is the first step we are going to do? We are going to transfer the items from the balance sheet into the partner's capital account. Now, if you see in the left hand side is your liability side. Always remember, anything in the liability should be given credit effect. So who died? Z died, right? So first thing is I'm going to put balance carried down, and that would be 2,50,000. Then if I see there is a general reserve, what are you supposed to do with general reserve? You are supposed to give him his share. His share is, what is his share given? His share is 1 by 8. So 1 by 8 into 50,000 if I do, I can get 6250. You should be very, very quick in your calculations. We can't waste time on this part. All right. And what is the next item? Z has given a loan, right? And what is the amount of loan? 50,000. That you have to put as it is. 50,000 over here. Is there anything else left in the liability side? No, there's nothing left in the liability side. Let's quickly look into the asset side. Do we see any kind of reserves? Planned debtor, stock, cash, bank. Ideally, there is no reserves. All right. So now read the next part of it. The posting should ideally get over in 1 minute, not more than that. The deceased partner will be entitled to his share of profit up to the date of death, calculated on based on previous year's profit. Do you know what is previous year's profit? Let's read the next part of it. He is also entitled to his share of goodwill of the firm, calculated based on 3 years of purchase of average profit of last 4 years. The net profit for the last 4 years is been given as 8 lakh, 6 lakh, 4 lakh and 2 lakhs. this 2 lakh amount which is there for the previous year, that is going to help you to calculate his profit. Now 2 lakh is for 1 year, right? That is last year. So I can write here 2 lakh is for 12 months. When did he die? In the month of December. So how many months he was there in the business? We had to be again very quick. He was there for 9 months. So I'm going to write here 9 months. So I'm writing here M, that stands for month, and I'm writing over here P, that stands for the profit. All right. When I write this sentence, I easily can make out what would be the profit over here. Let's say X is the profit. We considered X as a profit. As I told you, you can just do a simple cross multiplication and get the answer. If I do that, I get X is equal to 18,750. Now that is the profit. But are you going to give this whole figure? No, you're supposed to give 18,750 into multiply by 1/8. Is that clear? So, and what is the term you're going to use? P&L suspense. So I'm going to write P&L suspense. Sorry, there's a small correction here. The calculation is 9 into 2 lakhs into 12. So your profit is 15,000 into 1/8. So that is 18,750. Now that is also done. What is left? Goodwill part, right? And who will give the goodwill? I told you X and Y. Now what is the share of goodwill? Again, you have to do your calculation as per the adjustment number 2. They have very clearly mentioned that it should be 3 years purchase of the average profit. So 8 lakh, 6 lakh, 4 lakh and 2 lakh. If I take an average and multiply by 3, I understand that the goodwill calculation is 15 lakhs. Now I will not give 15 lakhs to him. He will get his share, that is 15 lakhs into 1/8. Okay. So if you do, you will get 15 lakhs, you will get the goodwill into 1/8. Okay, I'm just writing here goodwill so that you don't get confused. And this is your profit. Look how fast we can do the calculations and things. So that is what, after doing that, as I told you, you will not give him the complete figure. You will give him his share, that is 1/8, and who will give X and Y. In which ratio? In the sacrificing or gaining ratio, isn't it? And what is the gaining ratio over here? Whenever, please note, whenever the new ratio is not given, the sacrificing ratio or the gaining ratio is always the old ratio. All right, so the old ratio is 3/4 and 1/8. Accordingly, if you multiply, you will understand what is the answer for this one. All right, so you can get the figure as 160,714 and 26,786. So we completed the goodwill part, P&L suspense, general reserve, loan and balance. Look into the last line. His drawing up to the date of death was 18,000. Where do you write the drawings? So we have to write the drawings over here. The drawing is 18,000. I hope these things are clear. Determine the amount payable to the legal representative of the deceased partner by preparing the necessary entry. Now, one thing we should always understand that if a partner has given loan, there has to be a interest given to him, or he charges interest. Loan is never free of cost, right? There is a interest attached to it. What is the percentage of interest over here? Since the sum is silent about it, you should fall back on Partnership Act 1932, which states that the interest on partner's loan is 6%. The very first chapter tells us, no, Partnership Act 1932. So remember that and give the interest on loan. So these are the small aspects which students forget and which can always create a problem. Okay, so interest on loan is something which has to be given to the partner, so you will be giving it or putting it on the credit side. So interest on loan would be, you can do your calculation and see what is the figure you're getting. It is 2250. You should be giving it for the period he was there with you, 9 months. Don't give it for the entire 1 year. Pay a lot of attention in this aspect. So that's it. So once you complete this part, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just find out what is the amount you have to pay to the executor. So for that, I will just do a simple calculation. That is 160 and okay. Be very careful about the zeros, or else you might get a zero in the exam. All right. So pay a lot of attention. I'm sure you will get full in this particular chapter. These are some of those interesting chapters wherein you get full marks provided you pay attention. I hope this example is very much clear. This is what the time basis is. Okay, now how do I know it is time basis? Because of this first line. Okay, you can complete a sum not more, you in 5 to 8 minutes. You will not take more time. Look, most of the things are there in the balance sheet. You simply post it. There are only two calculation. One is for profit, other is for the goodwill. Otherwise, there is no calculation as such needed. Let's look into one more sum. This is sum number 18. Okay, we won't do this sum. We will just understand. Sharma, Verma and Goyal sum it is. They have given the capital. Interest on capital is to be calculated at the rate of 10% per annum. I told you, you have to calculate 10%, but you will not give it for the entire year. He died in the month of September, right? So you should be calculating for that many months. That is April, May, June, July, August, September, 6 months. So over here, Verma's capital is 4,20,000, 10% is 42,000. Half of 42,000 is what? 21,000, right? So you should be like really quick in getting these points, or else you might waste time doing the calculation. So be very quick in that part. Okay. What's the next thing? This is partner will be paid 35,000 for his share of goodwill. Not even need to calculate the goodwill figure now, because they have very clearly mentioned 35,000. In which ratio? Have they given the ratio? No. That means again I am falling back on Partnership Act 1932, which states very clearly that in such cases the profit would be equally shared. So yes, gaining ratio would be 1:1. So how do you divide this 35,000? 17,500. Look, by reading itself, you get your answer. Firm had a reserve fund of 2,10,000. So if you have a reserve fund, give it to the partner his share. That is 1/3. So 21's 1/3 is what? 70,000? Yes. Now the fourth one is an important line. His share of profit till date of death will be calculated on the basis of sales. Now they have given you the sale figure of last year, that is 15 lakh. they also given you the sale figure of this 6 months, that is 3 lakh. They have told you that the profit of the firm for the year ended, that is last year, was 3 lakhs. Now you can, I just write it down over here. I'm just doing this calculation. So the sale was 15 lakh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I got right figures here. 15 lakh, and the profit was 3 lakhs. If the profit was 3 lakh, sorry, the sale was 3 lakh till is dead, what would be the profit? I'm putting X. Either you do a cross multiplication or you understand what is the percentage over here. On 15 lakh, what would be the percentage to get 3 lakh? Okay, it's very simple. On 15 lakh, what is the 10 percentage? 1 lakh 50. But it is 3 lakh, so obviously it is 20 percentage. Okay, so you should be mathematically a bit smart so that you don't waste time. Now on 3 lakhs, what would be 20 percentage? Again, 10 percentage is 30,000. 20 would be is 60,000. So 60,000 is the profit, and you will give him his share, that is 1 by 3. So 20,000 you would be writing it over here, and the sum gets over. As I told you, if you practice 2 or 3 sums, that is more than enough to complete this chapter called death. It's a very easy chapter, but yes, the mistakes are more seen in this chapter than any other chapters. The mistakes are highlighted in the PPT slide, especially in the remember part. Please look into the remember part. That itself would help you to understand the mistakes so that you don't do it. Okay, so that's it for this chapter. I hope you understood this chapter, you understood the concept, you understood the sums, you know how to do it, how quick it can be done. All right, thank you.